Hello, I'm Declan Curry and welcome to this brand new business channel where we'll meet and talk to industry leaders about how they've successfully navigated the turbulent waters of recent times. This is Spotlight. Now, when we think about policing, the police force, we think about crime prevention. We think about how local constabularies keep our streets, businesses and communities safe. We may not think about how all this is achieved and maintained, about the methods, strategies and tools that policing uses to help prevent crime. That in part is what the Police CPI Crime Prevention Initiative is all about. Guy Ferguson is Chief Executive of the CPI. Welcome to our discussions. Tell me what it is, tell me how it works, what it's about.
So Police Crime Prevention Initiatives is a police-owned, police-directed organisation. We see ourselves very much as an operational arm of policing, and we have a mission which is to be a major catalyst for crime prevention. So what that means is we're able to sit between policing and industry and the government and operate as advisors to all of those. And we do this in several ways, both strategically and tactically. Strategically, we operate as advisors on things like the Safer Streets Fund, run by the Home Office. And tactically, we run a series of initiatives. And again, all of this activity is not for profit. So every penny that's generated and involved here goes back into crime prevention.
Is this about information? Is it about sharing best practice? What is it?
We have 700 odd member companies who make 7,000 products and services, and if they do so to a standard that we would approve of, then they're allowed to use our trademark, that they are a police preferred specification, that they're making their product or delivering their service to that level. What we're trying to do is all the time ratchet up that standard. So all the time we're creating a virtuous cycle of improvement in the standards of which things are made or delivered. So constantly trying to keep in front of the game.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on now and look at the spotlight on what makes your business different. You sit between sort of industry and policing. Are you a bridge?
Yes, I think we absolutely are. We're able, because of our size and flexibility, to do things quite quickly. And so sometimes it's important to respond quickly to a new emergent crime trend. And I think sometimes because of the way in which these organisations work, it's more difficult to do things as quickly and as agilely as we're able to do.
As a practical example of what this is and how it works, I know you've worked with the alarm industry, is that right?
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
One of the things that we've been able to do is to provide a challenge to industry regarding the electronic transfer of alarm calls from the receiving centres for the alarms to the police. And we were able to challenge industry to come up with a standard and work with them. And through their work, they've taken considerable time off the transfer between the alarm going off and the actual message being passed to policing. So you cut down the response times. Every year there are 1 million less false alarm calls to policing. And if you think about the amount of resource involved of police responding to an alarm and then dealing with it, discovering that it's a false alarm, the waste of resources is immense. So we're making a big difference in that regard by working in that central role to bring industry and policing together.
Let's move on and talk a little about innovation, talk a little more about innovation, to be precise, because you've mentioned the importance of standards already, and you use the secured by design, a type of British standards kite mark in your work. Talk to me a little more about that and why it's important.
Secure by Design is an initiative that we've been involved in for over 30 years. And what it does is looks at companies who provide goods or services that have a crime prevention element to them. And in doing so, they have to go away and get their product and service tested to an independent standard. And by doing so, that they can come back to us and say that they've done it, and we allow them then to use our trademark. What it does mean is if you're buying a product from a secured by design accredited company, you can be assured that the product will do what it says in the tin. And we've done everything that we can to check that it does.
And what are some of the best examples you've seen?
In Fife up in Scotland, Police Scotland did a comparison of a test between a secured by design estate, which was built to secured by design standards, fitted with secured by design approved products and things like that, versus one that wasn't. And this wasn't a short period of research, it was a 20-year period. And over that 20 years, if you lived on the secured by design estate versus the other one, you were at 87% less likely to be the victim of crime. But all the time we're working with these companies to improve the standards. So a new method of attack will emerge, and we will then work with the industry, with policing and with the standards agencies to come up with a solution to that.
Every business thinks about how they need to stay ahead, and they look to successful organisations such as yours for some sort of takeaway advice. What's your advice? What should they be thinking about? What should other organisations be thinking about to stay ahead?
I think it's always about investing in your people, encouraging innovation and creativity within your staff. And one of the ways that we did this recently was when faced with the threats from COVID, we embraced technology, and we went for a Monday morning meeting where we involved all staff in that. We gave them a brief around our understanding of what the position was with COVID, but then we went on to start getting them to talk about their individual bits of the business and presenting bits on that, so that everybody understood what they were doing. And because of that, there was no silos emerging, and we got a much more cohesive workforce who have invested in innovation and creativity.
Guy Ferguson, really interesting. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us on Spotlight.